Hi, everyone. I'm Cindy Walter, and I have with me a guest today, Todd Norcross. And he is in my upline and was instrumental in helping me get started almost 4 years ago now. And the reason I asked Todd to come and share with you today is because twice now I've had the opportunity to hear him talk about the sports products, the new Amped line. And he can explain things in much more detail than I ever could. He's really a product expert. I've looked to him for product advice, and he's just really, really knowledgeable about the new line. We had him at our Super Saturday event in Cleveland, and then he just came down and did a big event for athletes at our YMCA last weekend, and it was very informative, and we got great feedback on it, and I thought it was something that it would be really nice to share with the whole team. So I asked Todd if he'd do an interview with me today and talk about the new products so that we could record it and share it with all of you, and he agreed. So welcome to the call, Todd. Thank you for joining.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, Cindy.
And a couple of things about Todd's background, guys, that you should know is that he was a collegiate athlete. He was a gymnast for Ohio State University, a Division I school here in Ohio. And you still coach gymnastics, don't you? On top of everything else you do?
I was drawn out of retirement, and I'm coaching still, yes. And it's for the love and the fun for the girls.
Yep. And you're a personal trainer also.
Yes, I am. Yep.
But an engineer by trade, so went to school for engineering and was an engineer for years. But this has been your passion, right?
It is my passion, and you know the body is it's a physical system. So the engineering side, and I know in the beginning with you, it was kind of the nickname Rain Man kind of came to me because I can definitely spin the propeller and the beanie of being in the analytics side of the why guy, of kind of needing to understand why the products work when, you know, there's a lot of other things in the market today, really kind of what sets us apart from, you know, potentially what could be a crowded space. But, you know, I would argue that all day long.
Yeah. And I know you've been with Isagenix for how many years now?
10 years. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe you've been 4 years already. It just seems like yesterday I was making that trip down to help you all get started, and so proud of what you guys have done and the team that's been brought together down there. It is the epitome of a united team front and everybody working together for the success of others. Really, really proud of you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Todd. So tell us, you know, I know when the Amped line was announced, you were totally psyched about this. So tell us, you know, let's start off by, let's do a rundown of the new products and just share your knowledge on the products. And then I want to talk about how you're using them and how the rest of us, you know, depending on what we're doing physically, you know, can use them as well. But let's start off kind of what you did on Saturday, just going through the lineup.
Yeah, so we basically have 5 products now in our Amped line. So I just like to consider this to be our portfolio of products for performance. Boy, say that 5 times fast, right? Portfolio, I'm not even going to try.
Toy boy.
Yeah, new teeth. Here we go. So anyway, you know, we had our first product came out actually last August at Celebration, which was the pre-workout, or what we knew as a pre-workout as Power. But since then, we've added 3 other products, plus we've rebranded an existing product, you know, in the Replenish Want More Energy now is being rebranded as Hydrate. And there's reasons for that, and it's really, in my opinion, the where it's sitting in this portfolio of products is where it needs to belong in a performance, because that's truly where it is. But I really like our story that we have to share with people. From you know, here's the thing, Cindy, you and I go back many, many years, but I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, and I think you are too, we can help people lose weight with these products, hands down. I mean, our detox system, #1 way to help eliminate toxins from the body, and in turn, the biggest side benefit that we have from that is people losing weight like crazy. True or true?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
And so now we've got a story to tell now for how do we really help people with their performance. So I've got some of the products here that I'm going to kind of hold up and go through. So we're just going to go through each one of the 5, if that's okay. So the first one here is this product called Amped Nox, N-O-X, Nox. Comes in a small little, you know, 2-ounce little shot that looks very similar, not to be confused with the E-shot. All right, very similar in size and stature. We're going to come back to the E-shot in just a second too. Of course, the E-shot is officially in our energy category, where the Nox is in our performance category. So the Nox product itself is and say this 5 times fast, beetroot juice. All right. So this is an all-natural nitric oxide enhancer to the body. So a lot in that mouthful right here. So this is a product that is, think of it as a V8 juice on steroids. That's probably the best way I like to classify this. Now, being an all-natural product that is derived from beetroot juice, red leaf spinach, and celery, these are all natural occurring nitrates. What does that really mean? First of all, it's going to create vasodilation within the bloodstream. Well, what does that mean? It is going to allow vasodilation. It's going to improve your circulation, is the bottom line. So one of the things I think most people will, when they try this product, the taste is a little strong, to say mildly. But you have to understand the benefits, and not everything that is good for you tastes good. However, that being said, it is, I actually have grown to appreciate the taste. I like it. And it's best, kind of like our Ionic Supreme as an example. You know, I think when people first might have their first shot of Ionics, they may kind of go, wow, that's kind of strong. You know, I think the similar thing is with the Amp Nox as well. And again, one of the best ways to have the Nox is to, you know, do the shot of it, but then swish it around your mouth and savor it for as long as you possibly can for best absorption into the body. That being said, it takes, when we start adding nitrates into the bloodstream, it takes approximately 2 to 3 hours to reach peak, okay? So just, and we're going to go back to the timing here on the back end of this to kind of put this all in a timeline for how to take all this. So my recommendation is, prior to working out, you want to take the Amp Nox an hour and a half to 2 hours prior to your training, okay? Now, the interesting thing is when people say that, well, gosh, I get up at 4:30 and I go for my run. One of the neat things about the Nox product or the nitrate enhancer, this will actually elevate your nitric oxide in your bloodstream for about 24 hours. So if you are an early morning athlete and you're out and about, Cindy's one of them, and I'm not a morning person, so I'll raise my hand on that one. So you can take this the night before. There's no stimulants in this, or will not keep you up, doesn't jack you, excuse me, anything like that. It is simply it's bringing more oxygen into your bloodstream and nitric oxide into your bloodstream as well. So, so how I take it, I generally work out mid-morning. So when I first wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I have. Something just on a side note, they say don't brush your teeth and take this right away. You'll want to separate that out, and it has to do with your saliva glands and your enzymes in your mouth, that they want that, you know, kind of salivating up. So separate brushing your teeth from having this. But again, kind of wake up in the morning, drink your water, have a Nox shot, savor it. It's a beautiful way to wake up. If this doesn't help wake you up too, that's a joke. So being elevated in your body for 24 hours is rather interesting, because it elevates your bloodstream for that long. So the question then becomes, could this be used for something beyond athletes or the non-athlete? And the answer is absolutely yes, because it is going to, overall, it's going to do two things. Increase your blood flow, which improves your circulation in your body. So if anybody is looking for improved circulation, here's a way to do it naturally, all right? So who else might want to look at using this? I know for me, I breathe so much easier. And again, that's just a byproduct of the nitrates in my body and improved circulation. So as an example, if one was preparing for a long distance race, a marathon, triathlete, whatever the case may be, triathlon, you could actually load this 6 days prior to the race. So let me come back to what I mean by that. Can you take this every day? Absolutely, and I do. I take this every single day. Sometimes I'll skip a day if I'm taking the day off. But if you're getting ready to have a major race coming up, you can do what they call a 6-day loading. So 6 days prior to your race. So if your race is on Saturday or Sunday, you could start the beginning of the week and actually have 2 a day to start loading and building up the nitrates in your bloodstream. Because again, the one thing the NOx is going to do is optimize your muscle efficiency, reduce your exhaustion, whether it's aerobic or non-aerobic, which brings into another really good, where else does this fit? Okay, who should use it? Who should use it and when? All right. So if you've got one of the, I would argue and say one of the best places that this could really make the immediate impact. Now, this is a product also, just so everybody knows. If you're looking for one product that will absolutely make an immediate impact, they're actually saying when you increase the nitrates in your bloodstream, there is a 16% improved performance response. So if you're looking for one specific product that's going to make a difference, you're looking at it right here. So anybody in the CrossFit world, because CrossFit will kind of combine the aerobic and non-aerobic or even kind of HIIT training type scenarios, this will be one product that's consumed an hour and a half, 2 hours before the WOD. I pretty much will anticipate you'll see personal bests come out of that WOD when they've consumed this prior to one of their workouts. All right. So where else? Marathon runner, cyclists, swimmers, triathletes. And even we even talked about the non-athletes. Okay. The other thing that this will do, so this is classified as a pre-workout, but because it's a vasodilation, increase in blood flow and nitrates, because the blood flow has been increased, it has the ability then to remove, because the blood flow is increased, the lactic acid or the lactic acid waste in your muscles, which then has a direct correlation to improved recovery. Although this isn't our recovery product. So good, Cindy, on the NOx so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So let's get out of the NOx and let's talk about the other pre-workout that's new, which is the AMP Power, okay? Comes in a tub, so unlike the NOx, which is a liquid, the Power is a powder form. Now, this is a cherry berry flavor. It tastes very, very good. So however you want to mix this, it will mix in very, very well with your pre-workout. So the Power is what was released back in August of last year in 2015, and it is a creatine-based product. All right, so let's get some myths out about creatine. A steak has creatine in it, okay? So most of your meats have creatine. Creatine is used to help increase power of whatever you want to do. So some people will look at this and say, well, I don't lift and I don't need, power. Well, that's not necessarily true, because what this product is going to do also, again, is increase blood flow, which has a direct correlation on increased performance, and help develop lean muscle. So I'm going to challenge especially females out there today that might say, I don't want to bulk up, I don't want to add muscle, I don't want lean muscle. But I'm here to tell you right now, straight up, when we develop lean muscle mass, that increases your metabolism and destroys fat. Make sense? So if you're looking for weight loss, consider introducing resistance training, weight training into the process using a product like this, because it's going to allow you to, and I'll say it for no better words, attack your workout, all right, and make you train harder, longer, and recover faster. So those are kind of the three themes that you're going to hear kind of repeated in all of this. All right. So when to take this? Somewhere between 15 minutes and 30 minutes before your workout. Can simply be mixed with water. Can be mixed with some other products as well. And it has a shelf life, and I'd like to say 15 minutes to about 3.5 hours. So it will stay, and it's something very interesting. So even though this is a pre-workout, it's having direct correlation in our recovery, in our post-workout, because the 3.5 hour lifespan of the product is keeping your blood flow up, which is helping pull the waste out of your muscles. All right. So we go on the power.
Yeah, that's great. Yep.
All right. So I want to bring in the eShot right now because a lot of people were using eShots prior to the workout. All right. And remember where the eShot kind of fits in is more of this is 85 milligrams of caffeine, which is derived from the yerba mate, which is one of your cleaner forms of caffeine. It has the adaptogenic herbs in it, okay? The adaptogenic herbs are much that of the same family that's also in the ionics, as well as the, I always say this wrong, the chai tea, right? Is that right?
That's
chai
right.
Tea?
Yeah.
Okay, so all three of those products have the adaptogenic herbs in it, which in a nutshell, and why I want to come back to this, is the adaptogenic herbs help combat the release of cortisol, all right? And I'm going to bring that back around full circle in a second. And understand this, when cortisol has been released in your body burns sugar instead of your body burns fat. I'm sorry, I said that wrong again. So when cortisol is released, your body burns sugar instead of burning your fat. So as an athlete or someone working out or wherever, we're always trying to control our cortisol. And when stress occurs, these products can help curb that. So can you combine an eShot with the power? Absolutely. No questions asked. Could you have a Nox, an eShot, and power? Absolutely. No problem there at all. So this is where we're going to go through the products, make some recommendations, but at the end of the day, this is about what works best for you. Because everybody's workout is a little bit different, what they prefer and what they don't prefer. So there's our front end products. All right. So now I want to move into our during products. So we've got two nice things here for our during workout. So depending on what you're doing, the first one here is just the, what's branded right now is the Replenish, used to be known as Want More Energy, and soon to be rebranded called Hydrate, which is going to be part of the Amped line, which is the right place for this product. So the Replenish, the Hydrate product is an electrolyte replacement and in simple terms. But why is that important for depending on what you're doing is because the moment your blood glucose levels drop in the body, I'll say that again, the minute your blood glucose levels start to drop, it stimulates cortisol release in the body, okay? So one of the most important things to do is we need to stabilize the glucose levels in the body to help keeping the cortisol from being released. Does that make sense? So the Hydrate product is a great way to replace your electrolyte, stabilize the blood sugars, it helps, again, optimize the efficiency to keep your body as a machine running in its absolute top physical form. Not to mention, it's a very clean product and without all of the chemicals and additives that the popular sports drinks may have out there today. So that's our Hydrate product. The next one that I'm really excited about is this thing called Fuel. Comes in a little squeeze pack. Now there might be some people out there that have absolutely never seen these before. Anybody that's been in the marathon running, triathlon, cyclists, they're going to recognize these very quickly because I used to be an absolute avid cyclist, and I used to consume similar products like this on a consistent basis because, again, what these are, whenever you start getting into endurance or just endurance sports, okay, your body wants more carbs than protein, all right? And Cindy, you're a marathon runner too, so lots and lots of miles. And so this is a product, our shakes are great, but the shakes are great for recover afterwards, to rebuild, okay? So this is a product that's going to stabilize during the process. What sets this product off specifically from others on the market, and I think this little guy is only like 90 calories in a pack, 22 grams of carbs. But one of the key components here, this is the consistency is a little different in this. This is an apple puree, like kind of almost like an applesauce with molasses in it. So the consistency is a little different. It's not so, what's that?
It's not so slimy.
Yeah, that great word, not so slimy, yes. So this has a little more texture, consistency to it. But the key thing that this has in it, it has 1,000 milligrams of BCAA, branched chain amino acid. All right, so the BCAA, this is the first we've had this in the conversation today. What is the BCAA? Well, when our muscles start to fatigue, the amino acids in our muscles start to deteriorate, and we start to cannibalize our BCAAs. All right, how do I want to describe this? We fatigue. Okay, best way to put it. So, what's that?
We bonk.
Bonking is a great term for the runners out there, and especially triathletes. So with the AMP Fuel, it has a BCAA in it. Now, this is the amount, the 1,000 milligrams of branched chain amino acid that's in here is not designed to repair. It's probably a good way to describe it. It's designed to maintain. All right. So if you're used to using a tear pack, gel pack in the past, you might have waited 45 minutes or an hour before you started to use those. And depending on what you were using, some of them were loaded with caffeine and all kinds of different things. And sometimes people had problems in their belly where it really kind of affected, the internals of the body. This is a product that I would no doubt be able to recommend to start having this earlier on in your training or your race, maybe even 20 minutes in, and then whatever kind of consistent recurring after that, every 20 minutes, every 40 minutes, you are going to know after you've used this for a while what works best for you. And again, we're just trying to go through some of the products right now, but at the end of the day, you have to kind of mix and match and feel around for what works.
Uh-oh.
What's that, Cindy?
Oh, I lost you for a second. The internet connection said unstable. It's okay.
We good? All right. So, again, this is something, especially if you've got a race, who should be using this and when. The bottom line is if you're working out, running, training, probably in excess of 60 minutes of endurance, this is where this is going to come in to help stabilize that it's maintaining your glycogen in your body is what it's doing, and that's what we're trying to keep your levels stable. Right. So I know I made a mention before too, Cindy, on Saturday. One of the things I'm really excited about is I'm an avid skier, and I love to ski in out west and out in elevation. So I'm really excited about the AMP Nox because it would improve oxygen levels circuit to fuel my body all day, as you're going up the lift with something to help stabilize the degradation of the muscles. That to me is a home run. I can't wait to try that one out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the last thing we're going to come to now is the Recover product. Okay. Now the Recover product, really when it comes down to what this is a BCAA, branched chain amino acid rebuild to the body. So this is all about building, recovery, repair, and growth in the body. So we talked about the AMP Fuel having BCAAs too, about 1,000 milligrams. This has over five times, it's actually 6 times the amount of amino acids in it. So there's 6,100 milligrams of BCAAs. So the question then becomes, what does this do? Because of, there's a couple of specific amino acids. L-carnitine is one. L-glutamine is another one. The bottom line, all natural, and those specific amino acids, they reduce your soreness, okay? This is about rebuilding your muscle the moment it starts to break down. Now, having said that, so when is the optimal or best time to take Recover? The name would suggest Recover, which would be post-workout. I'm gonna make the recommendation. So for what I do is I actually drink this during my workout, and there's some thought of actually having this as a part of the pre-workout, and I'll go through some of that scenario too, because again, if this is already being fed into the body doesn't have to break down your amino acid that's already there. Again, it's about recovery, repair, and growth in the body. So how are we doing so far, Cindy?
That's great. That's great. So I think what I'd love for you to share is, the way you stack your products. We have a ton of fitness instructors, personal trainers. We have gym owners. We have lots of athletes, triathletes in our group. So everyone's, like you said, is going to have to play with this and find the routine that works best for them. But I've kind of been following what you've been doing, even pre-amped, what you were doing before, and now the changes that we've made since the amped lineup. And, I have to say, I ran almost 19 miles last week, and I increased my mileage more than I normally do. I'm helping a friend train for a marathon. I'm not training for a marathon. And I really thought I would be sore. I increased my mileage too fast. I was really expecting it, but I use all these products and I fueled properly, and I do the Isoline Pro shakes afterwards, and I just do what I'm supposed to do, and I was not sore. I taught my weight training class the next morning. I didn't have an ounce of soreness. I recovered beautifully from it, and I know this is why these products really work. And the way I use them might be a little bit different from someone else. I'm 5'9" and I weigh a lot more than some people, so I'll use them a little bit differently. But share with everyone your stack, how you
yeah. So everybody has their own, and everybody's got to play with this too. And again, here's the products and how do you mix and match, how do you optimize. I can share what I'm doing, and this was a direct result of what Shane Friels and I had a conversation. And also Dr. Paul Beyondich and I had conversations in regards to doing different things. And I can tell you, I had messed around for a long time, working out first thing in the morning, fasting. And the fasting for me it just left, when I finished my workout, I not only were my muscles depleted, I was exhausted. I just felt like I was just, how do I best describe it? Playing catch up. I wanted to come home and take a nap first, and just didn't have the energy in my tank. So I played around with a lot of different things, but here's what I do. All right. So first thing in the morning when I get up, I have an ox. Right. Love the way it makes me feel, especially my ability to pull more oxygen in and really get after my workout. All right. So about 15 minutes to 30, well, for me, 15 to 30 minutes prior to my workout. I really personally like about 30 minutes prior. And this is what I do. I simply put it in a shaker cup. I do not blend this. And the reason why I have found that the power, when I'm mixing this up in the blender, it froths too much and gives me too much aeration in it. So I just shake this in a blender, in a shaker cup, and it works out better for me. So what I do 30 minutes prior going to the gym, and if y'all want to write this down, if you're taking notes, I start with taking an accelerator. Okay? This is a thermogenic. There's no stimulants in at all. But again, we're raising the core temperature of our body with the four main ingredients in here. Was it niacin, royal jelly, ginger, and cinnamon? All very helpful things to help boost your metabolism. So I take one of those. I will have amped along with, now here's something, and I'm going to throw this out there. If you feel like you need to have an extra boost, an extra little lift and some caffeine, add the E-Shot to it as well. All right. So I've already said the power. I add IsoPro. Okay. And I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm saying here, because we've got, certainly our Isoline, which is our meal replacement shakes. We have our IsoPro, which is just pure protein. Okay. All protein, no carbs. And then what they sell is that's pre-blended, put together, is the Isoline Pro and the tear packs. okay? So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of this. So for my stack, going back to that, Accelerator, the Power, Isopro, and Ionics. I add my Ionics Supreme to the front end because, again, what is my primary goal with the Ionics is to keep my cortisol levels in check, all right? Because whenever you're going at a hard workout, you're going to be stressing the body, which is going to release cortisol, all right? Mm-hmm. So that combination, all right? So with or without an E-shot, that's personal preference, all right? But so my stack will be the Amp Power, Ionic Supreme, Isopro, Accelerator. We good?
We're great. That's exactly what I do. I put the E-shot in mine, and I love it. And
it's a great flavor too, and it tastes good.
That's what I would say. The flavor is not bad at all. And I take the Nox at night because I do work out early, so I take it at night. And I think I heard, I don't know if it was you at Super Saturday or maybe before that, I take Ionics a couple times a day because I do put a lot of stress on my body physically and also can be under mental stress every once in a while too. So I take it at night. So I have been mixing the Nox and the Ionics together and taking that right before I go to bed at night. And it does make the taste a little bit better for me. So there's no problem with mixing those two, correct?
No, and think about the delivery because you've just really stimulated your bloodstream. So you're really pushing that through the body. All right. So we had talked about the Recover as part of the pre-workout. So here's something you want to play with because, again, depending on what you're doing, you're breaking down the muscles on the front end. All right. So that stack I just gave everybody, all right, perfect for a female. For a guy, I would double it. All right. So what do I mean by that? Only one E-shot though, guys. Sorry. But everything else, 2 scoops. 2 scoops of Power, 2 servings of Ionics, 2 scoops of Isopro, 2 accelerators.
Okay.
Here's what I love about taking the Isopro pre-workout, okay? 30 minutes, that is. For dairy-based whey or just whey in general, it takes about 2 hours for the protein to get up into your bloodstream. All right. So if you think about this for a second, so now I understand why I feel so much better post-workout. I'm taking 36 grams of protein into my body, 30 minutes of my workout. Workout takes about an hour and 15 minutes-ish. So about the time I'm finishing my workout, almost 2 hours have elapsed. So that is coming up, feeding my bloodstream at this point. Even though my muscles are completely depleted, I feel fantastic.
Right.
I have energy now, whereas before I didn't, but that's me personally, all right? So the Recover is where, I'll take my pre-workout first thing in the morning with a shaker cup, and I don't even rinse it out anymore. I just fill it back up with water, add my Recover to that. So immediately when I started hitting the gym now, so whether you wanted to do the Recover, pre-workout and during, but I recommend taking this during more than the post because, again, we want to repair the muscle as fast as we possibly can with the red chain aminos, and that's what this is going to do. So you think about even the shelf life of the Power, keeping the body vascular dilation for 3.5 hours. It is helping, even though this is a pre-workout, this is helping your post-workout because of the bloodstream, all right? So there's our pre-workout. We good there, Cindy, up to this point?
Yep.
So now post-workout, here is where, depending on what you're doing, obviously could make a difference. But post-workout, and keep in mind, your insulin levels have spiked approximately 45 minutes post-workout. This is the time to drive nutrition into the body, all right? You've got a golden 3 hours post-workout, and I recommend to people, you don't even want to wait till you get home to have that recovery shake. You want to be shaking that shake as you're walking out of the locker room of the gym. You want that immediately because it takes about, even if you drink, it takes about 20 minutes for it to get in the body. So we want to start feeding the body as fast as we can. So post-workout, here's where we got our Isoline Pro. Whether you prefer to have it in the tear packs like this, I like custom blending it because sometimes I do some different things with it. But that's all the Isoline Pro is 1 scoop of Isopro with 1 1/2 scoops of Isoline. That combination, bottom line, gives you the Isoline Pro. All right. And again, we're talking probably about the best protein on the planet being grass-fed New Zealand whey. So it's a fantastic protein source. The other thing that I add to my post-workout shake is greens. All right. So one of the reasons I add the greens is because it helps increase the alkalinity in the body. The more alkaline we can become in our body, the healthier environment we have for repair, recovery, and growth. The last thing that I will have with that is my Ageless Essentials with Product B. This is the time to drive that nutrition. So your insulin levels are spiked, and we put in our body right now is going to be used. So you can kind of play around with that a little bit. So if I've got some heavy lifters or somebody wanting to cut per se a little bit more. So this is the kind of cool thing about this combination of custom blend, right? So instead of doing maybe 1 scoop and 1.5 scoops, maybe you do 2 scoops and a half scoop, right? So you change, because from a carb protein portfolio, this is a 50-50 protein and carb. The Isoline Pro combo is a 70-30, 70 protein, 30 carb. You can start messing this around, 80-20, 90-10. Depends what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. If you're doing a bunch of HIIT training with a bunch of cardio, you're definitely going to need some more carbs and protein. So again, you can dial it in, play it around. Hey, any questions from anybody? I am more than happy to help figure things out. The other thing, Cindy, and I know you know this already as well, but I'm going to throw it out here while people are watching this. Anybody that feels like they're hitting a plateau, and no matter what they're doing, whether it be in their workouts or even in their weight loss. In their workouts, it's probably take and pay attention to maybe the ionics to help cut the cortisol. How hydrated are you staying, okay? And then also specifically the recover for the branched chain. Are you just not, most of the time we're running negative on our branched chain aminos, where this puts us into a possibility of actually being positive in the amount of branched chain aminos that we have, okay? So on I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. That's okay. I think that was awesome. That was really more than I could have asked for. Great explanation of everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know what I was going to say. On the weight loss, if they feel like they're plateauing, this is when we want to increase protein also. And this is the crazy thing. It is crazy. Over the last 10 years, I've taken people and increased their protein and watched them lose more weight. So if you're just doing 2 scoops a day and you're starting to plateau a little bit, talk with your leader or whoever you're working with now, your sponsor, your upline, and maybe it's time for a combination of doing Isoline Pro as a combo, and even consider doing a little Isopro right before bedtime. It helps boost your metabolism and burn through the night. Last thing I'm going to say is there's a great brochure from Ice Sales Tools. It's called Amped, okay? And in this brochure, a very, very nice-looking professional brochure, which goes through the entire portfolio line, where they all fit, where they belong, and even on the back, it starts to introduce then some of our traditional systems. So it's a great little teaser you can give some of your friends or athletes who can be, unfortunately, some of the hardest-nosed people to convince to try something new that since they've been using all their life, something different. So, Cindy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I will post this in our product page, and Todd's in there. If you guys have any specific questions for Todd, just type them, in the comment section, and him and I will look at them, and we'll be sure to get back to you. But I can't imagine there'll be too many, because this was really a great, very thorough.
These are fantastic products. And again, play around, but introduce one at a time, introduce them all, try to stack, whatever you want to do. I guarantee you it will make a difference. I feel like the Energizer Bunny that can just continually rep right now and not cramp. That's the other huge thing this does for me. But on a recovery perspective, my soreness level has decreased tremendously. So I'm very confident. Use these products and how we're kind of talking about, you'll see a marked difference immediately.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Todd, for sharing with the team today. And everybody have a great day. We'll see ya.
Bye, everybody.